Part 3. Recovering from the devices. These steps should only be followed if you plan on recovering from the devices and not imaging from them. Step 1. Move all of these materials into the BSC, and then take all the petri dishes out of the incubator and move them into the PSC. While in the BSC, remove the Kim wipes from the petri dish and then close the petri dish again. This allows you to inspect the habitats on the device most clearly. You want to look from underneath to see which ones are wet and which ones are dry. The ones that are wet are better to recover from, but recovering from the dry habitats hasn't been shown to make a noticeable difference, but it has not been extensively tested. A dry habitat is defined as one that shows up as a white outline under the device. Step 4. Place the petri dish down, use the sterile tweezers to unstick the device from the petri dish and place it face up onto the lid of the petri dish. It can then be recovered from. Now for the actual recovery process. The first step is to take the sterile inoculating loop, open it up so the smaller 1 microliter loop stays sterile, and then dip that 1 microliter loop into the Eppendorf with PBS assigned to the habitat that you plan to recover from. Use the 1 microliter loop to gently scrape that habitat. Scrape it 25 times backwards and forwards across the habitat. Sometimes the PBS in the loop beads on the habitat and sometimes it does not. This does not seem to make a difference, but has not been extensively tested. Once this is done, place the 1 microliter loop with the bacteria recovered from the habitat into the Eppendorf that you dipped it in earlier, and swirl around extensively. 20 to 30 seconds is best. You will not be able to see any evidence of bacteria on the loop or in the Eppendorf. Once the bacteria from this habitat are in the PBS in the Eppendorf, repeat steps 5 to 7 for all other habitats that you wish to recover from this device. Once that is done, repeat steps 3 to 8 with all other devices that you inoculated. Once all the devices have been recovered from, vortex the Eppendorfs with the newly recovered bacteria for 10 seconds. At this point, I would typically plate the bacteria from these Eppendorfs, and at the beginning of the video I illustrated the materials needed for that particular course of action.